morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first episode of Just Freaking It, starring me, Dwight Kennedy III, the host of this podcast. I couldn't be more excited. Right now, it is about 4 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, so about 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the reason I know that is because I'm from the East Coast, from the Boston, Massachusetts area, a small city called New Bedford, Massachusetts, known for their whaling and fishing ports. Beautiful town, lots of culture. Can't wait to go visit my family there. Right now I'm staying in Nampa, Idaho, and it's been a beautiful experience. I've been here for about 1 week now, and wow, it's amazing. I drove across the US to get here. But onto the podcast. So, Just Freaking It, right? The reason I decided to name it Just Freaking It is because I feel like, society, other people, kind of try to put you in this box, this pressure structured box of you need to work a 9 to 5, you need to make $100,000 a year. As a man, you need to suppress your emotions and be cold and just hard all the time. As a woman, you need to be a stay-at-home mom who's just emotional. Like, we're just so imprisoned by these ideals, and people forget that we're all just really little kids pretending to be adults. So instead of competing, instead of all this animosity, let's just walk each other home. Let's freak it. Let's freestyle this thing. There's no need for all the pain and suffering that the world is breeding right now. And I want to get into that a little bit more later. But for now, my name is Dwight Kennedy III. That's right. There's two before me. My grandfather was Dwight Kennedy. My biological father is Dwight Kennedy Jr., and I am the third. So two bastards before me, and I'm the third. I'm 29 years old. I turned 30 on New Year's Eve. And actually, fun fact about me, so I'm born on New Year's Eve, right? December 31st. And I'm born on a leap year. So there's usually 365 days in a year. But because it's that one extra day, and I'm born on the last day, I'm born on the 366th day. And that must be so rare. And I just love highlighting that. I don't know. Once I learned that, it became this powerful thing for me. So, a little bit more about myself. I'm a music producer. I absolutely love making music. It's something I've been interested in doing since I was about 12. But back then, the DAWs, digital audio workshops, were much harder to use. They weren't as easily interfaced. And I used Fruity Loops. So the computers had a hard time catching up to what the programs were doing. But I learned the basis of it and the basics. And, about a year and a half ago, I decided to buy Reason 13, which is a digital audio workshop. And apparently not a lot of people like it. I absolutely love it. And I'm so fast at it. And I swear by it. But a little bit more about the music. My music name, at least as far as it goes, the house music, R&B, jazz, fusion. It's called Luminiferous, and it's an idea. I don't want anyone to call me Luminiferous because I'm white. Or I guess you can call me Lumen because that means light. But the idea of luminiferous is, in literal terms, what it means is to create light or to produce light, right? And that's a powerful idea. In a world of such darkness, instead of wallowing in it, let's produce light. Let's bring each other up. Let's raise the vibration of the planet. Because at the end of the day, we're leaving this for our babies, our children. Don't we want to make it a paradise for them? So that's the whole idea. Now, with this podcast, I have a bunch of guests lined up. I'll go through that. I have a mini script I wrote up, by the way. You can see it's numbered. Just because I'm not perfect. I'm doing very well off the top of the head, but I glance over ever so often. And I gotta say, a lot of this is attributed to the acting classes that I've been in. Shout out to Diana Horner, and shout out to Savannah Lee Nassif, an upcoming actress. Well, she made it now. She was in Scary Movie 6 with the Marlon Wayans brothers. The Wayans brothers. Marlon Wayans is Wayans brother. Anyway, she plays Tuesday in the movie. Very beautiful soul. she critiques me, but she just wants me to get better. And I am so much better articulating how I am presenting myself, even down to like introducing myself. Um, yeah, I owe a lot to them, and I'm so looking forward to my next classes. There's 12 weeks of it. We just went through our first class, and this weekend we don't have it because 4th of July. So happy 4th of July, everybody! If I don't see you until the next episode, but for this episode, I wanted to make it about me. Right? There's a lot of people who know me from my hometown in New Bedford, and kind of have an idea of me, but we haven't met. So this is to pay homage to them and to kind of get to know them. But then I'm in Idaho, so no one has any idea who I am. So I'm trying to bridge the gap between my two homes and introduce myself, get more comfortable speaking and all this stuff. Because every episode from here on out is going to have a guest. At least that's the plan. I have like 45 people lined up, so that'll probably keep me busy for the next year. And I'm super grateful. Super grateful. Thank you, God. I didn't even plan to do this podcast. Don't get me wrong. I've thought of it before. And shout out to a very good homie, Steven Silva. Me and him made hip hop music when I first met him. We got in, it wasn't even an apartment, it was a band space together. And we had this idea that we wanted to bring the people that were in our lives at the time. We were surrounded by yoga teachers, Tai Chi teachers, fitness instructors, rock climbers, because I'm a rock climber. I've been rock climbing for 12 years. So the idea kind of spawned then, but feeling how aligned I am right now with my purpose, why would I not do it? So how it happened was, and if you take a look at my Facebook, you'll see this. I was very sick about 2 months ago. I had very, very bad bronchitis, and I thought I was dying. Ask any one of my family members, ask some close friends. I was waking up every morning and instantly, like, I don't want to like discuss you, but like mucus was forcing its way out. My throat is very sensitive too, so if I feel that, like, it's prolonged for like another hour or two. And then at night it was bad too. The changing of humidity, the changing of temperatures really messed with me. And I really thought I was gonna die. I was smoking weed every day to cope with the stresses of life. At that time, I was coping with a breakup. Around February, me and an ex split, and there's no hard feelings at all. Actually, yesterday was her birthday. Happy birthday. I love her, and I love how that relationship played a huge role into who I am, because that's what relationships are. But I'm no longer in love with her, and I'm grateful for our misalignment because it sent me on a trajectory that I don't know if I would have been on. And, I'm just very grateful. But to rewind a little bit, I was very sick, and I kind of just got sick of my shit one day. And I'm the type of person that doesn't really know how to vent. So mental health is really important for me, in men and women. So if there's anyone out there who is holding it back because you feel like a burden, or you feel you don't have a friend, you have a friend in me. As corny as that sounds, we'll get into that a little bit later, because, with me wanting guests on my show, I want them in person. There's a lot of people from home, my last home, New Bedford, who are like, oh, you can't do it on Zoom. No, you cannot get this genuine, authentic reaction, this freestyle of just freaking it by doing it through a Zoom call. Now, certain things can be done through Zoom, but I draw the boundary there. So I got sick of my shit. One of my closest friends for about 15 years, it's actually who I started rock climbing with. Shout out to Matthew Morgado. What a beautiful soul he is. He's actually going to be my first guest because he's out here in Idaho, so it's going to be right away. It'll probably happen next week. I think we're filming Wednesday, so it could come out earlier. I hit him up, and I kind of was like, dude, I'm in a very bad place. I don't want you to think it's of urgency. You need to like change your life for it, but I could use some wise advice. Called me right away, and we hadn't talked in a while. Filled me in on where he was. He had just visited Idaho because he was presented with an opportunity to become a regional manager of Anytime Fitnesses. So he manages like 10 gyms. He's doing very well for himself. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of you, Matt. um, so at that time, I was unemployed. I was a welder. Actually, you know what's funny? I was gonna take a picture of these, my relics, these bad boys. I was a welder for about 3.5 years. Went to night school for it. Started working on trains, did some welding there, and then I got a full-time welding job, welding catalytic converters and exhaust pipes. But I was getting really sick from that because you're breathing in fumes all day, and I just couldn't do it anymore. So, whatever, I left, and I think that was also playing into my depression with my identity. But because I didn't have a job, I decided, you know what? Matt was trying to convince me to come out to Idaho to visit him. So I bit the bullet. I think I just bought a ticket and I came and I stayed for a month and I absolutely fell in love. And I miss New Bedford. I miss my family. But as a rock climber, as someone who loves nature, as someone who loves people who support each other, it's a different world out here. And shout out to the people of Idaho. They're very, very good people. And I can't wait to visit other states around Colorado, California. Go even to Canada. I have family in Canada. I'm just very excited. But so I came out here for the month. I fell in love, and I also immediately stopped smoking. I didn't really drink. I didn't really have a drinking problem. So I've been kind of like on the sober wave for a while when it comes to drinking. But weed was my vice. I loved to roll a blunt and smoke it, and I would just chain smoke all day. So I came out here. I stopped smoking right away. I started using a steam room because at my apartment now, there's a steam room accessible right outside. I make tea every morning, but it's a little bit more than tea. I make an elixir, I call it. It's, you grab a tea bag, you put your honey in there. Then I do usually turmeric, black pepper, cinnamon so it's not bitter. Then I'll add lemon juice, apple cider vinegar, and then specifically for my lungs, I have mullein extract. I have all this stuff over there. I'm just not about to go get it. But if you're interested, I can show you my exact brands. And this is such a powerful concoction because you have strong anti-inflammatories, literally ones that can fight against cancer, high antioxidants, things that flush you out, the lemon, the apple cider vinegar, the detoxifiers. Then the mullein, what mullein does, it kind of like attaches itself to the mucus and it like helps drain the mucus out of you. So I was on it every day. And since my bronchitis is healed, I'm not so much doing the mullein every day, but I'm still doing the teas and I'm doing the juices. I love making juices. There's specifically one in mind that has become my favorite, and it's the watermelon celery ginger juice. And I'm going to make a video of how I make it, what juicer I use, and I'm just going to share it with you guys because I work out almost every day. And if you watch today, literally 2 hours ago, I was just at the gym. I did the most intense workout of my life, and I was there for hours. I don't feel sore, and I can attest that to the ginger. So that concoction is very strong specifically because you have the watermelon, which is like all water, so super hydration. You have the celery, which is antioxidants, anti-inflammatory. It's a detoxifier too. Then the ginger, high antioxidants, high anti-inflammation. And I just feel great all the time, and I have like tremendous amounts of energy. So I stayed for the month. My bronchitis healed. I was exercising heavily. And something else I want to mention. Before I came, now this is something I'm gonna post, but I'm not there yet. I'm not at 100%. I'm not in my Super Saiyan form yet. But I have a week before I left to come out here, I took a picture of myself in the mirror, my body, and I made the intention that I'm gonna lose this weight and I'm gonna look amazing in this mirror. So every week, once a week for that month, so I had 4 pictures plus the first one, I did a picture. I came back to Mass. I stayed in Mass for another month, did the same thing. So I accumulated probably 9 photos there. And within those 2 months, I lost 36 pounds. and I pushed myself very hard. I did specific things like fasting on certain days, bone broth, high protein, all these things. If you're interested in knowing, I can share that with you, but the journey's not done yet. When I went back to Mass, though, I got very stressed out again. I feel like I was just surrounded by the same, and it's not anyone's problem but my own. I didn't know how to adapt the new lifestyle I got into back home, and I stressed out again. And there was a lot of factors. Like, I went through that breakup. My cat died. Chester, rest in peace, bro. He was the baby boy. I'm gonna put some photos somewhere so you guys can see him. He was just precious. Literally could speak English. For the first half of his life, I would hand feed him. So if I got home late or something from the gym or from work, I would open my door and usually he'd greet me like, "Daddy," like, "Meow." But like if it was late of a feeding, he would give me attitude and be like, "Meow." Yeah, like it's just the cutest thing ever. Um, but yeah, uh, he passed away. My grandmother passed away. My mom's mom, my nonna, straight from Italy. Um, and my brothers and sisters and a lot of my family members are all going through their own stuff. I'm one of 6 kids, and it's tough when you have such a high capacity of love and you love your family. Like, I would do anything to have my family together for dinner, and they're all separated, but I couldn't let that stop me from moving across the country for opportunity, for just me. But they know that I'd stay in touch with them. I love them. They support me. I support them. It's amazing, amazing relationships. I'm just gonna take a look here. Um, so yeah, I lived in New Bedford. I came to Idaho, and some things that have just been happening. Like, I've just decided to release my music. I'm making new music as well, so it's just like constantly evolving and growing. Got into acting classes, as I mentioned, and it's been life changing. The goal here is to, eventually get some roles. I wouldn't be mad if I got into like a Hollywood movie, HBO movie, Amazon movie, Netflix movie. I'd be super honored. I really want to meet some of my role models in the industry. To name a few, Gordon Ramsay, Beautiful Soul, Terry Crews, Bear Grylls, Matt Rife, Theo Vaughn. Oh my God, a lot of this podcast is what's the word, like, inspired by Theo Vaughn and Joe Rogan. Just very progressive, and Theo's hilarious. And Charlie Puth, very, very, very talented musician. So if I could get to the point where I can meet them, if I have them on the show, my life has changed. I'll cry like a baby. Oh, and Pauly D. Can't forget DJ Pauly D. My brother. Cavs a hit. If you watch the Jersey Show, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm no stranger to the fitness and the positivity that I've been doing. If you were to take a look way back, Facebook or Instagram, I've been doing this since day one. It's just, life ebbs and flows. You feel good one day, you feel like shit the next. And that's a whole part of this podcast experience, why I'm bringing guests on. I want to check in. I want to see where people are, from strangers to people I've been best friends with my whole life. It's very important to check in on people and to see where they're at and to support them and to hold space. That's the biggest thing that we can do. And I'm honored that I get to do it. And through working on the music, I've been video editing for my music, and I instantly just transferred it over to this, and it worked out. And I'm a one-man army. I plan to have some people on board down the line, and it's all going to work out. It's going to be great. Excuse me. So this is the plans for the podcast. Today's different because it's me introducing myself, but I'm going to have a guest. So for instance, Matt Morgado's coming. Now there's a little bit of structure. That's what I'm going through. And the structure is the introduction, me. I'm introducing as the host. I introduce who the guest is going to be. They introduce themselves, whatever they want to say. We go into the similarities between us and how we met. Excuse me, grab some water. How we met. Where our relationship is at now. And the evolution of that. What things we want to collab on moving forward. Then it's going to go into a little bit of their history, where they're at, right? Because we all have a goal, or at least we should. we all have a goal or an image in our head of like the perfect version of ourselves, right? I can't tell you, I don't think anyone's there. But like if I had to give an example of like where I'm at, I'd say I'm at like a 65%. Spiritually, I feel so sound. I feel so aligned. I feel so confident. I'm working on self care almost every day, every second. I carry it out to be able to give to people. Like if I sense any sort of self doubt or I guess negativity, but it's more than negativity. It's like sadness or just being upset. I spring into action. I want to be there. I want to be present. I want to take that pain off your shoulders. You don't have to deal with it alone. And that's very, very, very important. That support and encouragement in life. So I feel like I'm at a 65% because I'm living in accordance to my true self with God. I'm working on my diet every day. I mean, you probably see pictures that I posted. If not, check them out. Recipes will be coming as well. I think they're already there, but I juice. I hydrate. I work out. The only reason I say 65% is because I can't wait to be in like incredible shape, and it's going. Like I said, it's only been 2 months. Um, but let's go into the mental, right? That's like where I was physically and spiritually. Let's go into the mental. I was really messed up 2 months ago. A lot was hitting me. I didn't know what to do. I felt like I was drowning. Um, but I'm not one to complain. I'm not one to be like, guys, I'm drowning, but not fix my problems. In my mind, it's two options. Are we going forward or are we going backwards? And to me, the answer is obvious. So mentally, I feel really sound. Now let's go into emotionally. I'm emotionally good. I think the only thing that really is tough for me is knowing my family is going through stuff. Um, but I try to be there for them as much as possible. I'm an uncle of 13. All my five siblings have children. I purposely don't. I want to be able to focus and invest in myself. And when I find the right lady one day and she's on the same wave, it'll be a beautiful experience. But for right now, I have a mission and I have a purpose, and I ain't stopping for shit. um, Now, we touched a lot on me, um, but there is one thing I do want to mention, and this is gonna take a lot from me and just for me to be this vulnerable. A lot of what inspires me and set me on this trajectory in life is I come from a family that is not well off. You know, my mom was a single mother up until I was 10 years old. So we come from, I don't want to say poverty, but like she struggled. We struggled, you know? And at 10 years old, my mother met this man named Thomas Brown. And he was an angel. Um, Not only did he become a boyfriend, but a husband. He became a father and a stepfather to me and all my siblings. He became a grandfather to my siblings' children. He was a hard worker, a disciplined man, and just had all these concrete things that every man should have. And I'm grateful that I got to spend 8 years of my life with that man. Um, hmm, just give me a second. Um, when I was 18 years old, I had a great opportunity. I was working at a natural food store in New Bedford called Down to Earth Natural Foods. And I was washing dishes at the end of my shift. And I get a phone call from my mom that he's in the hospital dying. And I lost my mind. I hold so much regret. I hold so much regret because as a kid I was very timid and I had a lot of trauma, and I kind of just resorted to smoking weed all day with my friends like any 18-year-old kid. So it's time that I missed out on getting to know him as a man, his upbringing, his views on things. But he's with me. Every the more I stride towards alignment with my faith in God, I get His presence. Small things to big things, and it is of the utmost importance to find whatever that is for you, that purposely driven life. If you have missing loved ones who've passed, to be able to sense their presence, to be able to feel confident to do things, whatever it looks like for you, but something like this. Have 1 second. I just want to show you guys something because he's beautiful and he deserves to be seen. And this is gonna get hung up where I can see it every single day. This was my father, Thomas Brown. An amazing man. I hope the shot's in there. An amazing man. But I want to switch gears off of that subject before I get emotional again. I apologize. But that is what this show is about, right? I have a friend, Kylie. I actually met her for the first time 2 days ago. She's very interested in coming on the podcast. She's a beautiful soul, very beautiful soul. She shared with me a very vulnerable part of her life where a family member had passed away, and it put her on a trajectory, and she's doing very well. But she got emotional with me, and I communicated with her that she doesn't have to bring that on the podcast, but she also knows how much the world needs that kind of vulnerability and that connection between people. And I can't wait for her episode. And I hope that she is a recurring guest because, man, woman. There's a lot of things in the world right now causing divide. Black, white, the color of your skin, we can't get along, we come from different cultures, economics and how much money we make, your political beliefs, are you left or what, right? There's so much just divide, and I'm trying to bridge that gap. We don't need that. Again, back to what I said earlier, we're trying to leave this planet for our babies, right? So for me, it's of the utmost importance to get these connections because this device that I'm recording on right now, a cell phone, is very easy to distract you, but I use it very intentionally, and I yearn for a genuine human connection. Don't know how much time has ran up, so I want to wrap this up. And with wrapping this up, I want you to picture that I had a guest, right? This is the structure I was going through. Like, we kind of started surface level, we dived deep a little bit, and then the last two parts of my podcast is what I feel makes my podcast stand out and makes it reality warping and life changing. At this part of the podcast, we're going to thank the guests for being on. So thank you, Dwight, for being on the podcast. It was a pleasure getting to know you. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing your story with the world. The world needed to hear it, and we all support you. If you ever need anything, I'm here. Right? I'm saying this to a guest now, I guess to myself too. But, Dwight, what is one thing you would change about the world, or using this platform, what would you tell people to help better the world for humanity? Right? Kind of think of it like if you had a genie right now, what's one wish you would make to change the world? And my answer would be, if there was one thing I could change about the world, I would make people more compassionate, understanding, and patient with each other. Because there's so much division and we need each other. As much as people don't think that we need each other, Even a plant needs water and sunlight to grow. And that would be my one thing. I think that would change the world so much, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why I'm trying my best to be a supporter and an encourager and a positive light in this world. So I'm going to ask every guest that towards the end, which is very powerful manifesting. Very, very powerful manifesting. And if I ever have the resources to change this world, if I become rich or whatever, I'm implementing as much of them as I can. And for the last part that I really love, this is a little bit more fun. Every person who comes on the show, so let's say Matt Morgado, I'm going to ask them, Matt, right when they get to my studio, what kind of song do you want to make? We're going to collab on a song. What kind of song do you want to make? Let's say he says, I want to do like an R&B jazz fusion, right? We're making that song. Now, Matt makes music. He knows how to make it, so it's going to be a great collaboration. We're going to have a video, right? It's going to play at the end after we say that one thing that we want to change the world. All right, guys, and this is the song me and Matt made. It's called Electric Fusion Slide. And then it goes into the video of me and him making it, but it's sped up. And it's just like good vibes. Like we were laughing, maybe we were vibing at some points. Maybe we were confused at others. But the song's playing in the background. It's a music video of the song that we made, of us making it. And every single guest I'm doing that with. So, if this sounds interesting to you, and you want to use my followers as a resource for you to get your message out, your art out, your business out, or your story out, let me know. Take advantage of it, because not only am I having you on a podcast, I'm bringing you into my beautiful oasis. I'm going to spoil you. I'm going to make dinners for you. I'm going to make you juice. I'm going to give you insight into the things I do for my life to keep me positive and keep me aligned. And we're going to make some music, and we're going to change the world and change people's lives. So keep that in mind. Let me know. And thank you guys for coming to Just Freaking It. It's been a wonderful episode. I did this all in one shot. There's no editing. I'm sure you can see that. I'm sorry I got emotional, but that's the point of this. World peace. Thank you guys for coming. Take care.